Farrakhan Muhammad, born on this date, February 26th, 1877, in the holy city of Mecca. Did you ever see his birth record to Farrakhan? No. Did you ever meet him, Farrakhan? No. Did you ever talk to him, Farrakhan? No. Oh, how can you talk to me about somebody that you never saw, never heard, and speak with authority? Because I was taught by a man that he made, a man that only went to the 4th grade of school but was taught by Farrakhan Muhammad for 3½ years, and then Farrakhan Muhammad left, but he left us with a man among us who taught us that which no scholar and no scientist has ever taught anywhere on our planet. Now listen. How do you know that he met a master? Because he himself became a master. And he mastered the condition of the black man of America and taught us in a way that would raise us up into a powerful people for God's glory.
Master Farrakhan Muhammad did not declare himself to be a god. He declared himself to be a prophet. He declared himself to be a prophet. After he left, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad declared that he was a god, or he was the God, or he was God in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad.
Well, Elijah, why did you say Allah came in the person of Master W. Farrakhan Muhammad? God can't come in the person of a man. They say, minister, if you would just remove that from the back page of the paper, we would take you more serious as a Muslim. I don't give a damn whether you take me serious or not. Allah is sufficient for me. I know you don't understand. So I said in an interview with the Imam and myself on television in California, you should get that interview. I said, I leave it there because there's something in it for you to learn. And the Imam said, that is true. What is it that you are to learn? Did not Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, say that the Mahdi would come? Come on. What is the duty of the Mahdi? To guide those who had gone off the path of the Prophet back to the path of the Prophet. Look now. But he got more than that to do. He's going to kill the swine, break the cross, set down every tyrant, and set justice in the earth. How could a man born of a woman have that kind of power except Allah gave him that power to represent his power. Now, why am I saying this? Not just because it's the truth. I'm not saying it just because it's the truth. I'm saying it to set up a precondition for the coming of Farrakhan Muhammad. You don't understand him, it's all right with me. But I don't want anybody to think that I will banish Farrakhan Muhammad from my vocabulary, or Elijah Muhammad from my vocabulary, simply because I love Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, adore the Holy Quran. Don't ask me to do that. I will fight you till death overtakes me if you ask me to do that. You have no right to ask me to do that. If he's my sheikh, then don't ask me to put him down. Yeah, but what we're asking you is that you not say that Allah came in his person. That's all we're asking. Take that number 12 off of the back page of the paper, and we will agree with you, and we'll get along fine. Oh, we're going to get along fine anyway. We're going to get along fine. I promise you, we're going to get along fine. But I would like to tell you why. I would like to tell you why we are slowly uniting with our world of Islam. Beloved family, it has always been the desire of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan Muhammad that we unite with the Muslim world. From day one, I have Dr. Salam here. I have the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Jabir Muhammad, here, and many of the old followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad here. You know that when we got our Supreme Wisdom letter, it said, join on to your own kind. That was a problem of how to get black people in America who are Muslims by nature to reconnect ourselves to our world of Islam. That was a problem that needed a solution. From the time that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad established the paper, Muhammad Speaks, on the masthead of that paper was the Muslim brother in America and our brothers in the East joining hands. And the brother in the East had affairs on. He was not only an African, but he was a Muslim. Listen now. There's a book out today called The Clash of Civilizations. It's talking about Western hegemony and the clash with Islam. Because President Nixon said, communism is not the enemy of democracy. The enemy of democracy is fundamentalist Islam. Now, if you don't see yourself as a fundamentalist, you're saying, oh, it's those people. No, brother. It's you too. If you believe in this book, Quran, it's only a matter of time before the Quran is ignited in your heart, in your soul, They don't trust anybody that believes in Allah, whether you are passive or active. They hope to keep you passive, but they all know that one day you will become active. Now listen. Everybody all right? Look, I appeal to you to reason with us. This man, Farrakhan Muhammad, is a very unusual man from my vantage point. I never saw him. I only have a picture of him. And the picture I have of him, he's reading the Holy Quran. I guess he was telling us in that picture, study the book. Wait. When he came among us, listen to this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he was in America 20 years before he made himself known to Elijah Muhammad. What was he doing? I got to tell you something about him, because he's greatly misunderstood. And I love him. And I thank Allah for him. What do you mean you thank Allah for him? Didn't you all say he was Allah in person? Wait. Oh, beloved, misunderstanding of religion is one of the gravest things, because it puts us on a wrong course. We misunderstood a lot. Can I say this to you? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. And we were given lessons that we had to commit to memory. The questions were from Master Farrakhan Muhammad. The answers were from Elijah Muhammad. And on the top of it, it said, this is the answers of one of the lost founds. Study them. They're very near correct. Wait. Very near correct. If Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam, is there any answer in mathematics that is near correct? It's either right or what? Well, if it's very near correct and we were told to study it, and those of us who happen to be around the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the latter days of his presence among us, he said, ask me questions on these lessons. He said, oh, that's what I said when I was a baby. Then in the instructions to the laborers, he said, baby language will not be accepted. We thought baby language meant cursing or something. Well, of course it does mean that. But baby language means you will never be accepted universally if you stick to the answers that he gave you when he was a baby in the teachings. You have to grow up now. And listen. Wait. This man, Farrakhan Muhammad, for 20 years, they said he was going to college. He was studying white people, studying the mind of black people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he studied 42 years to deliver us. That's a lot of study. What was he studying? Now listen, a man born February 26, 1877, he came from the womb of his mother. He came into the world knowing nothing. That's real. He prayed. Who did he pray to? He didn't pray to himself. Who did he pray to? He prayed to Allah, the originator of the heavens and the earth. If he didn't pray to Allah, he wouldn't be worth anything, because he had to give praise to Allah who gave him the form. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, tongue, brain. He didn't originate this form. He was born in the form originated by Allah. He came into the universe originated by Allah. He studied the creation of Allah. Listen. He studied the creation to seek to master it, because Allah gave that to us, to master what he created. It is possible. We just have not seen anybody who has done it. How could the human being Adam be the vicegerent Khalifa of Allah? How can a human being stand in the place of Allah and not exercise the wisdom, the power, the guidance, the mercy, the beneficence of the God that he's standing in the place of? Don't tell me that I am Khalifa, that I can stand in the place of Allah if I can't execute the wisdom and the power and the guidance of Allah by his permission. Listen, to deny that of him is to deny that of yourself. It is to deny the revelation of Allah in the Quran, that there was a man named Adam that Allah created from dust, or from sperm mixed with ovum, or from black mud. And he informed Adam of the names of the angels and told the angels to bow down to Adam. He made Adam his Khalifa. So if Adam is Khalifa and you are the children of Adam, who are you? Are you not predisposed to be Khalifa? Are you not predisposed with the natural ability to master what Allah created and put into your service? You have that ability. The white man is not a righteous man, but look at what he's doing. He's showing you the realm of possibility of the human being. And he is limited because of his unrighteousness. What could he accomplish if he surrendered to God? And what can we accomplish if we surrender to God? Or maybe in your lifetime, in my lifetime, we would not be the Khalifa that Adam was. But if you get started, maybe 3 or 4 generations down the road, you'll have a son or a grandson or a great-grandson that will become a literal master, like some of us are producing children right now, 5 years old, they're computer literate genius. It's not impossible. It's only impossible if you believe it to be impossible. So look, listen to me, please. This man Farrakhan, he had a white mother and a black father. Strange. So he could get among us. If you ever see his picture, he looks like a white man. So we can't be color conscious. We can't hate white because he was so close to it. Yet we love him. Say, well, look at this. He was made like that so he could slip in among us and among them to learn all about the way they think and the way we think. Then what he had to do as a physician. My brother Imam Pt2 called it a concoction. All right, I'll take that word. Because you know, when you go in a laboratory, after research to develop a cure for a disease that had never been in the world before, you might come out with what they call a concoction. But if you take it and it starts healing you, then the man who gave you the concoction was in fact a physician, a master chemist who understood your condition and healed it with this prescription, concoction. Okay. This man Farrakhan, man, he studied the white man's mind. Now look, if you're gonna be successful, you got to beat him in his head. You can't kill the white man with a gun. You can kill one or two, but the ideas that rule his head can only be killed by a superior idea that gets into his head. Now I want you to hear me good now. The Caucasian rules us because he infected our minds with an idea of inferiority that has taken root in the black man.
White people would give the best jobs and the best everything to those of lighter skin. People with straighter hair and all that stuff, they got the best jobs.
As your skin gets lighter, your future gets brighter. They were advertising Natanola bleaching cream. This was done way back in the 30s and in the 20s. And that's how the society was working at that time.
Why are you inferior? Oh, because I'm black. Oh. Is that why? Yes. The blacker you are, the more inferior you are. The lighter you are, the more superior you are. Oh, so that's why you're using bleaching creams? Is that why you're blonding your hair now? Is it because you think by putting something on your head rather than in your head, you'll be better tomorrow than you are today? Is there something wrong with you? Yes. Something wrong, brother. Something's wrong, sister. You're sick. You're sick. Am I lying? Some of us claim to be Muslim, but don't want our light-skinned son to marry a black girl. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim. But don't bring no black woman in my house. See, you're sick. The medicine haven't worked with you. You need a stronger dose. So this man Farad, after studying the white man's mind and the black man's mind, he took this book, Quran, and he used it skillfully to attract our minds into a process that would ultimately grow us into Islam. Now listen to this, listen to this. He did not want any Arab or foreign Muslim to come into any of our quote-unquote temples, because he was doing something with us that he knew you wouldn't understand and you would oppose it, so he kept you out. And you said, I went by the Muslim temple and they asked me where I was from, and I told them that I was from the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they told me I was not welcome. What kind of Muslims are these? He knew you wouldn't understand. You would never understand what he was doing, because it seems so contrary to what Islam is as you understand Islam. And it's true, but it was a strange methodology. But how effective was it? Let us see. Let us see. Wait. Farad Muhammad in the city of Detroit, in what they call Black Bottom Detroit. Black Bottom. Pretty rough territory. And here's a man coming to us with some material over his arm. Handsome brother. He knocked on the door, and the female would come to the door. And you know how you are, sister? Lord, what is this at my door? And he has straight hair and light skin. And you know the way we were taught to look up to that with straight hair and light skin. So he automatically had a way into your house. But he didn't want to get in your house. He wanted to get something in your heart. So he said in his accent from the east, I came to offer you some silks made by your brother from the east. Brother? I didn't know I had no brother in the east. What you talking about? And then he started telling you how when you were in the east, before you were brought to America, you were wearing silks and beautiful clothes. What? That attracted your mind. And he said, would you get some of your family members and I will come back and I will tell you more about your brothers and sisters in the east. He was smart. He knew how to get up next to us. He studied. That's your problem, Muslims. You want to talk to our people, but you don't know how to get up next to them. We are so revulsive. You know, I mean, a drug addict, a prostitute, gangbanger. You get so decent now, you don't know how to approach your brother. scared of your brother or sister. But Farad Muhammad was not afraid of us. He came. After he started, and they would gather their friends in a house, he thanked them for allowing them to use their living room to teach, and he would take up a little collection and give it to the owner of that tenement or that house or that apartment. And then finally it got so big, he said, well, tell you what, let's put our money together and get a place to teach. And they agreed, and finally they got a little place in Detroit. That man was so skillful, he taught 25,000 in Detroit and gave out holy names of Allah to 25,000 black people. One of those persons was Elijah Pooh.
Here's a white-looking man telling you that black is all right.
He looked like a white man. He was very beautiful, handsome man.
He told us in effect that we were actually more than what we were, to try to balance off us being nothing.
That following week, Clara sat and listened as this unknown silk peddler stimulated her conscience.
Luther Spell asked my mother, would she go with her to listen to his lecture the next time she go. My mother agreed.
He said his name was Farad Muhammad, and that he had come to rescue the lost tribe of Shabazz, who were so-called Negroes, ex-slaves, a lost people living in the wilderness of North America. According to Farad Muhammad, the tribe of
Elijah
Shabazz
Pooh
were descendants of kings.
was a hard-working man that didn't have no job. And you know how you can be hard-working but can't find a job? He and his little family lived in a shotgun house. You come to the front door, you look through, you see the back door. That's what they told me. And he went to hear this man because his wife had told him of something about this man, and he wanted to hear him. So he went to hear him. And the moment he heard him, he was very knowledgeable of the Bible because his father was a Baptist preacher, his grandfather was a Baptist preacher, and they had him sitting on the mourner's bench, and he would watch them. And he would see the preachers cutting up, getting drunk, taking off the sisters. And he said he knew he was going to preach one day, but something different from what his father was preaching, but he didn't know what that was. Finally, in Detroit, in 1931, he saw this man, Farad. He was in the back of the room. He had 10 cents in his pocket. And when it came time to join up, he jumped to his feet and went to the front. And he said to the man that he heard, he said, "I know who you are." And the man told him, "But who else knows? Just be quiet." He gave his last dime. And that man, Farad, took that man, Elijah, to be his student. And for 3 years and nearly 4 or 5 months, that man, Elijah, studied under Farad. Farad Muhammad told him, "I am Mahdi. I came to guide you to the right path that you may be successful." Now, I'm going to come to the meaning of that in a minute. Can you imagine a man teaching 25,000 black people, and all of a sudden there are all these names: Muhammad, Kareem, Ali, Aziz, Biar. The white man shook up. Somebody disturbing his plantation. And he can't stand for anybody to disturb his plantation, so they arrested Farrakhan. Put him in prison, in jail. And while he was in jail, he sent for Elijah. Elijah came to get him out. Imagine a teacher that awakened you and began teaching you what you had never known existed before. And he's jailed just because he's waking you up. That's his only crime. He wasn't a thief, he wasn't a robber, he wasn't a fornicator, he wasn't an adulterer. Elijah came and got him out. After a while, his teaching spreading so, they ordered him out of Detroit. And he submitted and left. Look at the path. Detroit, from Detroit, Chicago. What path is that you taking, Farad? I'm taking the path of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Muhammad was in Mecca and he fled Mecca on the heels of a death plot and established Islam in the second city, Medina. Farad left Detroit, came to Chicago, and it was Elijah following him. He left Detroit, came to Chicago. When Farad got to Chicago, he was arrested here. When he was arrested here, he sent for Elijah. What you sent for Elijah for? I'll tell you in a minute. Elijah got him out. They established a school in Detroit, and the authorities arrested Elijah's teachers. And Elijah Muhammad went down and surrendered himself because he was the teacher. They didn't want no school where you taught your children anything other than what white folk wanted you to teach your children. So you got independent schools today, but somebody paid a price for that. I think we ought to respect and honor that one that paid the price for us to have independent schools.
46, Elijah Muhammad was released from prison. Foremost in his mind was the development of the Nation of Islam school system.
Number one, who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the queen of the planet Earth.
Elijah Muhammad is trying to teach all our original people. They are in bad shape.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad trying to wake them up.
You think he'll do it?
Yes, sir.
He's the only man with a program, right?
Yes, sir.
We felt that, yes, we were getting academic instructions that was equipping us above everybody else. But we also were looking at public schools as being a creation or establishment of the devil.
All the while he's teaching, Elijah is like I guess a private student, because he's talking to Elijah, day in, day out. He goes somewhere, he write him a letter, instructions. He set up the mosque, and he set it up with skill. He had a minister, then he had a captain. He trained us militarily, because we would be in a strange and foreign environment, and if we weren't strong, we would have been overcome and overrun. But the FOI was so strong. Even in Detroit, in the early days, they stopped the police from coming in the block when Elijah Muhammad was coming out. I mean, they were just black men that awakened now. And dog it, when you awake, man, you a different kind of black man than a sleeping black man.
The senior FOI had strict military drill. Left face, right face, original salute. So as a junior FOI, we would do the same thing, but then add our influence with some fancy movements.
Initially, the FOI was established to be a vanguard of the Nation of Islam.
The purpose of the FOI, everybody got to have a standing army. Every nation needs a standing army.
We were never the aggressor. We weren't bullies. We did never go out, man, and try to intimidate nobody.
The FOI was not aggressive. They were defensive.
We were not to be disrespected. We were not to be intimidated. And we were not to be violated.
They called this the Nation of Islam. That's a nation. So you need a standing army. You don't have to have weapons to have a standing army.
And they will defend fiercely what they build.
They would be willing to go to the point of death.
You know, and in some instances, there were people that crossed the line and they were dealt with. You know, really, they were dealt with. And examples were made, and those examples were respected and remembered.
They would go out and talk to the prostitutes and talk to the pimps and tell them that this is not a neighborhood that you want to be in. So we're out here trying to clean our people up, and you out here trying to dirty them up.
If you ever stepped on an ant hole and before you know it, man, you got ants all over your feet and your socks, and they biting on you because you have violated their space.
We just insisted very strongly that this is not the neighborhood this is where our temple is. Our women, our children come here. We want them to be able to come in here safely. We want them here to exit safely, and we don't want them to see you.
Well, the FOI had the basic same idea about what we built and what we had to protect it.
All of these two other organizations thought about challenging the FOI.
Also, it was a unit designed for discipline and self-control.
It taught you to be respectful, to clean yourself up.
Now, what you need to do is come on inside and learn this truth that we're trying to bring to you so you can clean yourself up and be an FOI and an MGT2. And we converted a lot of pimps and a lot of prostitutes.
To teach us that without discipline, without self-control, we were just a mob of people just in an environment and just taking up space and breathing air that could be given to somebody else.
They said he went to a church one time, Master Farrakhan Muhammad, and he told, you know, some of the Christians, I am your long-awaited Savior and deliverer. And the man punched him in his mouth. And when the Muslim was going to deal with the brother, he told him, leave the brother alone. But here he was, punched in his mouth. I heard that one of his teeth were knocked out. He suffered that. He didn't let nobody hurt the brother, but his student was by his side. After 3 years and 4 months, he told his student, you don't need me anymore. And the student said, oh, yes, I do. He said, no, you don't need me anymore. And he left. He didn't ask the student, look, you're going to get pretty big. And these people are going to give you some dollars. Wherever I am, you better send me 20%, 30%, 40%. He never asked for anything. He came to give us something. And when he had that student that he was looking for, he left. Brothers and sisters, look. I have read letters that he wrote to Elijah Muhammad in his handwriting. And every one of those letters that I read, he closed the letter saying, best wishes to you and the whole 17 million. Elijah Muhammad did not mean anything to him beyond you. His value to Farad Muhammad was he knew he had a heart of love for you. And that through that heart he would get you. When he left, I heard Elijah Muhammad watched him walk away, weeping, tears running down his face. And now the assignment was on his shoulders. Point number 12 on what the Muslims believe is very skillfully written. We believe that Allah came in the person of Master W. Farad Muhammad, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians, Mahdi of the Muslims. But Messiah and Mahdi are in bold letters with like a little, like almost in quotation marks. That's not an accident. Farad Muhammad made a demonstration for 3.5 years to show his student what he would have to endure for 40 years to lay the foundation. That's all 40 represents, is a foundation for you to build. Now hear me. What is a demonstration? It is the act or circumstance of proving conclusively, as by reasoning or a show of evidence. Farad Muhammad was showing him the role of Messiah, the role of Mahdi, not by words, but by a demonstration. And he was saying to Elijah, you will have to suffer to redeem. You will have to suffer to restore. You will be evil spoken of. You will be sent to prison. But since you don't know that road, I'll walk it first. Though I don't have to walk it, I'm going to walk it so that you will walk it and know that one greater than you suffered it before you, making it easier for you to suffer what you have to suffer to deliver your people. Now I'm going to ask a question. What word could we use to characterize the 3.5 years of work that Farad Muhammad did among us? What word would you use? What? I didn't hear you. See? He said the right word. See, love is not this tender feeling, this emotional thing that we get when we are attracted to any human being. That's love on the basest level. But you know what real love is? In the Gospel of John, John says God is love. Now, when you put the verb to be in between a noun and a predicate nominative or a predicate adjective, that comes after is equal to what went before in English. So when you say God is love, then you could turn around and say love is God. But if love is the cheap meaning that we give it, it has no connection to God. But if by love you mean the essentials of life, Lord have mercy. If you look at the word L-O-V-E and the word L-I-F-E, the O interchangeable with the I and the consonant V interchangeable with the consonant F. Love, without love you have no life. And if you have no life, you have no love. Love and life are synonymous. And the essentials of love and the essentials of life are three things: freedom, justice, equality is the essence of love. If you love somebody, you will never enslave. If you love somebody, you will always be just or fair. If you love somebody, you will treat them equally to others, because that's the basis of love. When you say God is love, you're saying here that love is that creative force out of which the heavens and the earth were created. Allah is the essence of love. How do you know? Because in a universe of nothingness, particles of matter were there doing nothing, having neither aim nor purpose. But out of love, Allah took matter that was doing nothing, formed it and gave it purpose. And he created from nothing the heavens above, the earth beneath, and all things in between. When Farrakhan Muhammad came to North America by himself, we were in America literally like particles of dust, having no aim, no purpose, doing nothing. He called us out of darkness and formed us from dust and gave us an aim and a purpose and a reason for existing. So Farrakhan, wait a minute, was the author of our existence. He was the father of our development. He suffered to make a demonstration. He deprived himself to make a demonstration. And then he left. And I declare before the world that Elijah Muhammad followed that demonstration. Don't tell me that you know a man that loved you more. Elijah Muhammad and his family, they suffered from day one.
The hardships of the Depression and a seemingly endless road to unemployment caused Elijah to drink heavily and the children, including Clara, were reduced to living with the daily pains of hunger.
I remember actually going myself to a garbage can and take a piece of cake out of the garbage can to eat. I did it at the age of 4 years old. That's how bad things were. And my mother, it hurted her to see her children without food. Now, during the condition of our family, and during that my mother at that time had planned on killing herself and her children because she didn't want to live like that. She was going to just kill her children and herself because she didn't want to live that way. She had 6 children, husband without a job. She was carrying a 7th child, pregnant at that time, with my brother Elijah too. And nothing to eat. I remember the welfare lady came by, and my sister, Raya, who called her Lottie at that time, was so hungry, she was crying.